Welcome back to Sparring Sessions. We are days away from the. This is one of the most anticipated pay-per-views of the year. You know, blockbuster, absolutely stacked. You gotta watch out, start to finish. This is A plus bangers after banger after banger. UFC 326, Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira 2. You got that Charles Oliveira shirt on?
Charlie do Bronx. Charlie do Bronx. And don't worry, don't worry. Okay, so it's we're recording this about a week before the fight. Uh, don't worry. You're thinking this is gonna get dirty. I'm gonna have to re-wear it, maybe wash it, right? No, no, no. I have three more Charles Oliveira shirts to go through this week, and a Fighting Nerd
Wow.
shirt, and an RDR shirt. So we're good.
Wow.
We are set.
Wow. You came strapped, ready.
You know it.
Um Before we get into this, we just passed over UFC Fight Night, Brandon Moreno versus Loner Kavanaugh in Mexico City. We missed you on the prediction show. I just want to know real quick, because I mean, I got the main event wrong. Will got the main event wrong. What did you go in that main? Who did you go with in that main event?
I didn't actually make an official pick. I don't know. I might have picked Lonnie Kavanaugh. I might have. I probably would have picked Brandon Moreno, but he just looked like shit in that Tatsuro Taira fight.
That's fair.
And I think my theme, if I had been on the show, was going to be fade the old guys, which kind of worked out,
Yeah,
kind of, except
yeah.
for your favorite fighter.
Yeah, man, Bobby Green, man. People forget this guy's a crafty vet. You never
He
count this
is.
guy out. Never count this guy out. But we're not here to talk about UFC Mexico. We're here to talk about UFC 326. So I guess before we jump into the predictions, as a whole, how do you rate this card?
I mean, the main event's doing so much work, right? I've got to say, I'll give it a solid B minus. B minus. You know what? B. I saw one fight, and that brought it up to a B for me. It's not a great fight. I mean, if we had TBD versus TBD in the co-main instead of Kyle and RDR, I might have gotten up to A minus or so. But yeah, it feels like a B, right? Somewhere around there. What's a B in Canada? Like 80, here it's 80 to 90%.
Yeah, some around there, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit too high for me to be honest. I mean,
Wow,
I
really?
like I do honestly always rate some of these cards that have a lot of the new guys on there. They tend to overperform. They tend to exceed our expectations. You know, a lot of people come into these with low expectations, and you see like a brawl like Dante Johnson, Cody Brundage. Like that's going to be a war, I think. That's going to be back and forth for a little bit at least. So some of these fights I think are going to be good fights coming up like on this card. So I'm not going to be too harsh, but I'm going to say a 7 out of 10. I think is fair.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's yeah.
yeah,
We'll
it's like
go
a
with that.
C plus maybe, maybe a C plus. But yeah, let's jump right into it, I guess. First fight of the night, Luke Fernandez versus Rodolfo Bellato. 6-0 Luke Fernandez, Rodolfo Bellato 12-3-1. Luke Fernandez, fresh off of his Contender Series win over Rafael Pergentino, knocked him out in the. Can't remember what round it was, but Rodolfo Bellato's coming
First
off of a
round.
loss over. Was it was first round? Yeah.
For
He's
15, 20 seconds in, maybe?
oh wow, very fast, very fast. But not Rodolfo Bellato's coming off of a loss over Navajo Sterling 4 months ago before losing to that or no contest to Paul Craig. It was an illegal up kick, but he wasn't doing an incredible in that fight anyways. I think Paul Craig was kind of winning before that up kick happened. And majority draw to Jimmy Crute. He did beat Ihor Potieria. That's his only UFC win. I'll let you go first on this one. Who do you think's gonna win?
I'm picking Luke Fernandez, but how funny would it be? Right now, Rodolfo Bellato, last four, 1-1-1-1, one win, one loss, one draw, one no contest. How funny would it be if he got a win and it's still 1-1-1-1 in his last four? I
Yeah.
think that'd be hilarious. No, Rodolfo Bellato is not. He's a okay UFC fighter, but Luke Fernandez is like probably the best. I'd say the best American prospect, second best north of 200 pounds. He's gonna kill Rodolfo Bellato. They're giving them an easy setup. What is it? Minus 220. That feels like it's gonna be minus 400, minus 500, and I wouldn't be shocked. So give me Luke Fernandez. I guess quick knockout. I could see a submission though.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's got Luke Fernandez's stats on UFC stats is juiced as fuck right now because of what he did in that fight, man. On paper, he's landing 32 significant strikes per minute, which is that's an insane number. 100% striking accuracy. This dude doesn't miss.
100%. That's crazy.
Um, I think he's gonna have his way with Rodolfo Bellato. Rodolfo Bellato's kind of this plodding striker. It takes him a while to really find his rhythm, and he kind of leads with his chin in some of these moments. That Ihor Peteria fight, people forget, man. Ihor Peteria knocked him down in that fight. Rodolfo fought his way back in and ended up TKOing Ihor Peteria later on.
Hmm.
Some referees could have stopped that when Ihor was beating on him on the mat. Like,
Yeah,
some
yeah, that
referees
was
would
a
have
weird
stopped
one.
that for sure. So, I don't hold Rodolfo Bellato to too high of a standard. I think Luke Fernandez, he did look pretty good on Contender Series, and I think he's going to be able to find the chin of Rodolfo Bellato and put him out in the first or second round. I'm going to say round one. TKO
Okay.
win, Luke
Yeah,
Fernandez.
that's what I
So we
got
move
too.
on. Second fight up the card, we got Gaston Bolanos versus Jung Young Lee. 8-5 Gaston Bolanos, Jung Young Lee's 11-3. That rhymed. Both of them are coming off of losses. Jung Young's on 2-fight losing streak right now, losing to Daniel Santos and Haider Emil by TKO in the first round. Bolanos coming off of a loss over Quang Lee by rear naked choke. The significant thing here is Jung Young Lee has a 6.5 or a 4.5 inch reach advantage over Gaston Bolanos. He's the younger guy, taller. I think he's a bit faster. I'll just go first on this one. I think Jung Young Lee's striking is going to look really good in this fight. Gaston Bolanos, sometimes he looks pretty slow on the feet sometimes, and he kind of relies on getting into these grappling positions where he can either get some ground and pound or a submission off. I think Jung Young Lee's one. This is back up against the wall. He needs to win this fight. He was a big prospect. Like, they were really trying to push this guy when he first came in. Beat Yija, beat Blake Builder. Jung Young Lee's gonna box up Gaston Bolanos. I don't think he's gonna finish him though. This is going all 3 rounds. We might see some grappling exchanges, and Jung Young Lee wins a 29-28, 30-27 on one scorecard decision win.
30-27. Okay. The classic minus 3.5 right there. Yeah, I think this fight's going to be interesting. I think not Daniel Santos. What am I saying? That's because what's his face just beat Daniel Santos. Got beat by Daniel Santos. Jung Young Lee. I think he can keep this on the feet long enough to where Gaston Bolaños, if I remember correctly, he gassed out pretty hard against Marcus McGee. I want to say it was somebody in the second round, so not even late third round. I think he would be smart to go to his wrestling here. He's not a big wrestling guy, but Jung Young Lee got kind of bodied up by Daniel Santos, 6 takedowns. So I'm definitely not laying minus 220, 255 for a guy who's on a 2-fight losing streak. But Gaston Bolaños is just not good enough. You know, he might look like Ilya, but he's no Ilya. I'm not interested in that number. I'm not interested in that pick. So give me the bigger Korean dude.
All right, we move on. The next one up the card, we got Rafael Bipolar Tobias versus Dayar Nurgazai. We still are keeping this guy around, man. Very interesting. Very
It's
interesting.
light heavyweight, bro. Come on.
I guess so. I guess so. He's got a pretty record still, to be fair. 10-2 for Dayar Nurgazai. That's not a bad record, but he's on 2 fights in a row where he lost by submission. First to Brenson Ribeiro and then Yuran Satibaldiev. Rafael Tobias coming off of a submission win on Contender Series. Um, I'll let you go first on this one. Where are you going here?
This is easy for me. Rafael Tobias, first round sub, easy. Uh, there's the Brenson Ribeiro. I picked Dr. Nergoje in that fight. I think we both did actually. I think you were on that one too. And then he looked good in the first, missed weight, but looked good in the first. And then he got Kimura'd from bottom side control. Or sorry, he was on top, and Ribeiro Kimura'd him from bottom side control. And then he gets choked out by an Ezekiel choke. Like, listen, I love a good Ezekiel choke. Okay, I hit it all the time in BJJ. It's my whenever I'm going with the white belt, you know, getting my titties in their face and doing the good old Ezekiel. But it's a white belt choke for real. Like that's not something Alexei Oleinik, sure, but that's not something we should be hitting in UFC on somebody. Okay. Uh, Tobias is. You said he's bigger, right? Um, got a bigger
They're the
reach.
same size pretty much. Tobias
Sure,
has half an
younger,
inch reach on him.
whatever. You take him down. You're the same size on the ground, and submit him round one. Rear naked choke, maybe.
I'm with you on this one. Dyer, he won on the feet. This guy's not even like I wouldn't call him an elite striker by any means. This guy is a very predictable striker on the feet. You see him every 15, 20 seconds. This guy is touching his eye like it's the worst tick ever. You can't like you
Oh,
got to get rid of
that's
that.
I
You
forgot
got to
about
get rid of that.
that.
It's such an obvious thing when he's on the feet. He's just every like it's like 5 seconds he's touching his eye. He's just going up and scratching it. Tobias has the clear path to victory. Nurgazai has nothing for him on the ground. He looked awful in his last fight against Yuran Satibaldiev. Maybe Satibaldiev ends up being a killer like Shavkat Rakhmonov. You know, maybe he's one of those
Wow.
names in 2 years' time. It's
Wow.
it's not going to
Okay.
happen, but
It's light
I
heavyweight. It's light heavyweight.
it's light heavyweight. I think Tobias is going to be able to take him down and bully him on the mat and find a submission in the first round. And I like that rear naked choke, but I could see an arm triangle as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So, yeah, Tobias round one sub. We move on. This is actually this is what I said my favorite fight, not including the main
Yeah.
event was coming up here. I'm a big fan of one of these guys. We got Sumaderji versus Jesus Aguilar. Underdog king, this dude. You give him underdog odds, he's winning the fight. Jesus Aguilar's 12-3, coming off of a win over Luis Gurul. Before that, losing to Rafael Estevan. Before that, beating Stuart Nickel. He's been underdogs in all three of those fights, and he won in all three of those slots, or except for the Rafael Estevan. I'm sorry, but most of the time, this dude's winning as an underdog. Sumaderji's 2-0 in his last two fights. 2-3 in his last five fights, though. He beat Mitch Raposo, beat Kevin Borjas. He has a 10-inch reach advantage over Jesus Aguilar. And I guess I get the pleasure of going first here, man. This is actually
It's a tough one.
this hurts me. This hurts me. This
Wow.
hurts me. 10 inches is massive. I mean, that's a crazy reach advantage to have over someone. Jesus Aguilar has won in positions like this before. Like I think Stuart Nickel had a reach advantage over him. I think
Big
Luis
one. Yeah.
Gurul had a reach advantage over him. He is always fighting with a shorter reach. He somehow still gets it done most of the time. But Sumaderji, this guy have faded a lot, and especially recently, he has been punishing me when I fade him. He looks really good on the feet, and he does use that reach advantage. He really sticks behind a jab and leg kicks, and he looked good against Kevin Borjas and Mitch Raposo. I'm gonna have to go with Sumaderji over Jesus Aguilar, and this really hurts me. I never go against Jesus Aguilar. I'm gonna have to go against him here. I think Sumaderji's gonna be able to beat him up and win a decision.
You know, Kevin Borjas only landed 16 significant strikes in that fight. No takedowns. Nobody got any takedowns. 16 in a 3-round fight. I'm going Jesus Aguilar here. I know Sumaderji has a 71% takedown defense. Yeah, where's that Mexican hat of yours? I want you to send it over here. Are you still allowed to send stuff to the United States? I don't know. After that last time, but yeah, listen. There we go. Mexico. What's genie in Spanish? Is it genial? Genial? No, that's genius. Whatever. I think he can get the takedowns here. I don't think it's going to look pretty. Sumudaerji relies a lot on his power. He kind of, you know, stung Mitch Raposo a good few times, and he didn't really land that much. Mitch Raposo got 6 takedowns on him, but he had a few good shots and whatever. A few good leg kicks too, if I remember correctly. Jesus Aguilar is tough as nails. He's tougher than Kevin Borjas. He's tougher than Mitch Raposo. Sure as hell tougher than Malcolm Gordon. 44 seconds. Oh boy. And I think he's going to get the takedowns. I think he's going to make it gritty. I think he can win 2 rounds. So I'm going 29-28 split decision for Jesus Aguilar. A little grimy of a fight, a little bit.
Man, I really hope he wins. I would love if he wins. I really would. It feels bad going against him. It does.
Yeah,
We move
your
on.
Mexican
Cody
brethren.
Durden. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We move on. Cody Durden versus Naim Jargal Tumendembarel. Durden 17-9-1. Tumendembarel is 9-1, coming off of a win over Terrence Saturn by technical submission, anaconda choke. I think it was like close to the end of the round or something like that. 1-4 in his last 5 fights, losing the last 3. Alan Nascimento, Jose Achua, as well as Joshua Van. He beat Matt Schnell, though. People forget. Lost to Bruno Silva as well. He's at a 4-inch reach disadvantage here over Naim Jargal. You get to go first.
I've never been a big fan of Cody Durden. He's Atlanta born, I want to say. Is he from Atlanta? He's from Covington, Georgia. Okay, there's a beef. All right, I'm making up a beef now. Fights out of Atlanta, whatever, sure. Um, five of his last 6. Some of these guys, Jose Ochoa, Alan Nascimento, okay. Joshua Van, that scrub, come on. This one
You
was
take
tougher
that
for me.
back.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think I'm gonna go Naim Jargo to Mendemberall. Um, I think the reach, the youth, he's got a few years of youth in him, right? It's
I think he's
yeah,
7 years
it's
younger.
7 years younger. Cody Durden kind of falling off a step. I don't know if I love Tumen Dembrall as a prospect, but I think he's good enough to take down Cody Durden and kind of out grapple him. We've seen Durden falter later in fights, so maybe that comes into play. And yeah, give me Tumen Dembrall. That's gonna be fun for DC to say or whoever's on the commentary.
Yeah. They're gonna like have like a spelling bee over this name on commentary. I just know they're gonna be going back and
Yeah.
forth trying to say this name. Um, but I think Tuma Dembrell is gonna win. I think Cody Durden's kind of past that. I don't want to say prime when I'm referring to Cody Durden. I don't know if that's fair, but I think
What was
he's
his
just
what's
at
his
that.
best win?
Yeah, good question.
I think that
Maybe
I think we can define his prime here.
maybe Charles Johnson.
Yeah. Okay. Is that Cody Durden's prime?
I think so. I think that's his prime right there.
All
He's not
right.
in it anymore. I think Tumen Dembarel, he looked pretty good in that fight, despite it being a no-name Terrence Saturn, whoever that is. I think his pressure it was shown, and I think his pressure is gonna really work against Cody Durden. Durden has like this weird style of boxing that it does make some people fold if they're not ready for it, but I think Tumen Demirel is going to be able to throw back, and he's going to find the chin of Cody Durden, hurt him in the second round, find his back, and submit him. It's going to be a club and sub in the second round for Tumen Demirel. That's the pick. And we move on to Alberto Montez versus Ricky Tercios. 10-1 Alberto Montez. 3-fight win streak right now, coming off of a Contender Series where he beat Carlos Calderon by submission. Ricky Turcios, 2-3 in his last 5 fights on a 2-fight losing streak over Bernardo Sopage and Raul Rosas Jr. He has a 2-inch reach advantage over Alberto Montez, though, and 2 inches taller. All the UFC experience, I don't think he's winning this fight, though. I got to go with Alberto Montez. He looked pretty good on Contender Series, was able to find that sub. And this dude's a submission threat. A lot of his wins are submission. 3 fights in a row, he's submitted people. Tercios, he got submitted by Raul Rosas Jr. I don't really hold that too much against him because it's Raul Rosas. That's like he's gonna be one of the generational grapplers. This dude's gonna like Raul Rosas Jr. in 10 years. I think is still gonna be he's gonna be like a Charles Oliveira. So I think
Okay.
Alberto Montez is going to be able to submit Ricky Turcios, though. I think he's going to be able to take him down and he's going to bully him on the mat. Ricky Turcios is a guy that I've never really held to too high of a standard. He has this like he's gritty. He's very gritty. He's always coming forward on the feet. He's got a lot of heart. But that's not the best thing to be described as when you're fighting. To be described as, oh, you show a lot of heart out there, man. It means you get beat up. He's
Yeah.
getting beat up, and I think Alberto Montez is going to be able to find the takedowns, the positions, and he's going to submit Ricky Turcios in the second round, maybe third.
I could see it being pretty close. I think Montez. I think Ricky Turcios is a better grappler than people think. I think people think of him as like a pressure striker, but he's got a few like on the Ultimate Fighter at least. He had a few, uses wrestling a little bit. The problem is Alberto Montez. He has a lot of chokes, a lot of darces and anacondas that come from somebody shooting on you, getting hurt, shooting on you, failing, and then you stuff their head and submit them. Same with the guillotine, and I think that might be what happens here. The other thing you didn't mention, um, it's surprising that you said Tercios has a reach and height advantage.
2 inches.
2 inches. This is at featherweight, right? If I'm not mistaken, Montez is a featherweight, I think. Let me go. Okay, his last 2 fights, including his Contender Series fight, were at featherweight. Before that, at bantamweight, who knows? But maybe that can't help going up a little bit to a guy who has been at featherweight at least for a bit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go well for him, and I don't think it's going to finish him. We'll call it a decision. Decision for Alberto Montez here.
You are right. Ricky Turcios does have that lighter man skill. That could come into play
The
here. That
speed.
could come into play. But anyways, we move on. Dante Johnson versus Cody Brundage. 7-0 Dante Johnson, fresh off of his win over Cedric Dumas, before beating Darian Abbey on Contender Series. Cody Brundage, 11-8-1. He is, oh my, how do I even say this? He's 1-2-1-1 in his last 5 fights. He 1 win, 2 losses, 1 draw, and 1 no contest. This is the weirdest 5-fight streak I've ever seen. He has a 2-inch reach disadvantage despite being 5 inches taller. And Dante Johnson, I'll lead on this one, man. Dante Johnson has got to be the pick. If you cannot go with Cody Brundage plus 370 underdog. I get it. Like, this dude is a brawler. He's going to make a fight close no matter what. He'll probably knock down Dante Johnson early on. 20 seconds in, he'll drop Dante Johnson, not finish him. They fucking end up going like Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje final 10 seconds for the entirety of the first round. And then Dante Johnson club and subs him with 5 seconds to go in the first round. That's like about the most accurate first round I could give you in this fight. But I'm going to have to go with Dante Johnson. I think he's going to be able to knock out Cody Brundage. I'm still remembering that Julian Marquez fight where I put all my marbles in on Cody Brundage. A crazy move.
$2,000 on Cody Brundage. I'm not kidding.
crazy move. I had like maybe half that on Cody Brundage.
Yeah,
It was one of my heaviest bets ever, and
he was a
I was on the
plus
edge of my seat
plus
that
something,
whole
right?
fight.
He started when I got him, he was at like plus 140. You remember? Because it was we were asking why is this guy why is he a plus 185 underdog or whatever when it opened?
Yeah, and he
There's
ended
not
up
that
getting
Green
knocked
Goblin mask.
down. Not
Yeah.
here. Not here, man. No, I think Julian Marquez made sense. Julian Marquez had just been knocked out in his last fight before, right? So it kind of made sense going against Julian Marquez. But Dante Johnson, this dude can swing and bang. He can take down Brundage. Where's Brundage winning?
I don't know. I don't know. That Green Goblin mask is saying something right now. I I mean, Cody Brundage is not a good fighter. I think we can all agree on that, right? But Dante Johnson, the smart thing he should do, wrestle. He can wrestle. We saw it, right? He took down Cedric Dumas, but he got hurt by Cedric Dumas. Cedric Dumas only hurts women and animals, I think. He can't beat up a grown man. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna pick Dante Johnson, but like you're telling me Cody Brundage runs into Dante Johnson runs into Cody Brundage's hip again or something, or that was Andre Petrosky, but something like that, where or maybe back of the head strikes. I don't know. If we're looking for an exciting underdog who will fight for your money, Cody Brundage will fight for your money. I guarantee that. He will even flop for your money. I promise you that. So yeah, give me Dante Johnson, but keep an eye on Cody. Keep an eye on Cody.
You got me thinking, man. Yeah, I know it's got to be Dante Johnson though. It's got to be Dante Johnson. We move on to the featured prelim bout. I didn't even know he was fighting until today, to be honest. I didn't even know he was fighting.
Yeah.
Cody Garbrandt versus Long Zhao. 14-7 Cody Garbrandt, 27-10 Long Zhao. Crazy record. Garbrandt's on a 2-fight losing streak, losing to the likes of Davison Figueiredo and Raoni Barcelos. Just getting wrestled a bit too much in those fights. Long Zhao lost to Su Young Yu 6 months ago. He beat Quang Lee by knockout, and he lost to Chang Ho Lee in his UFC debut by split decision. He has a 4.5-inch reach advantage over Cody Brundage, despite both of them being 5'8". He's 7 years younger. Who do you want to go with in this one?
It's a weird one. I mm, I'm gonna pick Cody Brundage. I need a little fun in my life. At least I had to pick at least one of the Codys, right? At least one. Uh, and as much as I love the Shanji Jindu Martial Arts Club of wherever Wang Zhao trains out of, Wengsheng Shangji China, sure, shout out. Um, I don't know. About his record screams like Cody Garbrandt is not good anymore, but Ronnie Barcelos and Davison Figueiredo, pretty good losses. Pretty good losses. And even before that, Rob Font, Pedro Munez, TJ Dillashaw, Kai France, all top 10 guys, right? At the time. Maybe Raoni Barcelos is not a top 10. He might be ranked, whatever. But a win over Quang Lee and losing to Chang Ho Lee and Su Young Yu doesn't losing to Christian Quinones in the Contender Series, that doesn't strike me as a guy who is going to you either got to wrestle Cody or you got to knock him out quickly, and I don't think he's really going to do either. So, yeah, let's have some fun. Let's pick Cody No Love Garbrandt here. Champ Round starts now.
Soon. Well, Cody Garbrandt's coming back, man. People forget. This dude had the best 25-minute fight of all time. In highlights
One of
at
them.
least. But
Yeah.
listen, you got Davison Figueiredo right here. You got Raoni Barcelos like about here. You got Long Zhao about down here, I think. I don't think this guy's up to snuff. He gets hit too much for my likings. He's tough. This dude's got a chin on him. But I don't like that in this position. I think he's going to get hit a lot against Cody Garbrandt. I think Cody Garbrandt's going to tee off on him and punish him. And Long Zhao is going to be shooting desperation takedowns in those moments. He's not going to lead with the takedowns, I think. He's going to try to bang with Cody Garbrandt. Ayo. He's going to swang and bang with him on the feet. These guys are going to be banging, and Cody Garbrandt is going to get the better of that. He's got good head movement. He's quick. He's still quick at 34. There was a reason Raoni Barcelos was taking him down. There's a reason Davison Figueiredo was taking him down. I think Cody Garbrandt's going to be able to keep this fight on the feet. Despite all those takedowns Raoni Barcelos and Davison landed, he still has like an 80% takedown defense, you know? He's got better striking. I think that's undisputable. He's going to have better striking than Long Zhao, and I think Cody Garbrandt's going to win this fight by decision. That's the official pick. And we move on. The main card is... The first fight on the main card is Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira 2. The first fight these guys had, pretty crazy one. I think Bruno Ferreira got it was like an elbow knockout over or a counter left hook.
Yeah, you remember it was one of those ones where he was coming back, he barely hit him with the left hook and he just dropped. RoboCop did.
Yeah.
It was a weird one.
Yeah. It was, yeah. But RoboCop's on a 2-fight win streak right now. He beat Jack Hermanson, obliterated his chin, and then he beat Roman Kopylov 3 months ago. I think we all picked Gregory Rodriguez in that one too. That was a underdog pick for us. Bruno Ferreira, 3 fights in a row he's won. Armen Petrosian submission, Jackson McVeigh submission, Marvin Vettori unanimous decision. RoboCop's got the 3-inch reach advantage. Slightly taller at 5 inches taller, slightly. Actually. Yeah, slightly. 5 inches taller. Minus 190 favorite here for RoboCop. Who do you go with here? Who are you going with?
I saw the odds minus 190 plus 165, and I'm like, yeah, that seems about right. And then I saw who was who. I thought we were going to get the Hulk being a minus 190 favorite. He won their first fight. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. Beat Marvin Vettori, the GOAT, and RoboCop is he got knocked out 3 fights ago. You know, I'm picking RoboCop because I love him. I think it'll be interesting if it hits the ground. I don't think it will, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, like multiple time Jiu-Jitsu world champion versus Judo black belt, multiple time world champion from what I understand, but both guys like to strike for some reason. They both have power. I'm gonna be squinting through my fingers here, but I can't not pick Gregory Rodriguez. What a great guy. What a silly guy. So give me RoboCop here.
How do you think he wins?
Knockout. Yeah.
Knockout? Okay.
I mean, Bruno Ferreira's been chinned before, right? Knocked out.
That's
or
true.
He's been subbed too.
That's true. And he kind of gasses out sometimes.
Yeah, that's a big thing. They both do, though.
They both do. I don't know if this fight's going to go much different than the first one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you got these two guys. They have a very set-in-stone fight style. Every time we're kind of getting the same things out of these guys. I don't know if this fight's going to go much different, but Bruno Ferreira in his last fight against Marvin Vettori, I think you can make the case that he lost that fight despite him getting the unanimous decision. I think Marvin Vettori could have. I think Marvin Vettori could have won that fight by a close split decision. And
okay, I don't think that's
crazy to say. I don't think that's crazy to say, to be honest. I think Bruno Ferreira definitely was landing the better shots for sure, but another judge could value the volume more, and Marvin Vettori outlanded him in every one of the rounds.
Well, so, really? Did you get some of that Pineapple Express? I don't know what you're smoking. I was closer to 30-27 for Hulk than 29-28 for Vettori. Wow.
Yeah, I could see it going either way. I was surprised. I picked Bruno in that fight, and I was very surprised it was a unanimous decision to Bruno. I thought it was a lot closer than what the judges said it was. But I don't think that really plays into this because they got such different styles. Gregory's not going to go out there and point fight him and go strike for strike and for all 3 rounds. This is going to be a brawl. These guys in the first round are going to be brawling, and I think Bruno Ferreira has the higher chance of knocking out Gregory Rodriguez. But you really can't write any of these guys off. But plus money for Bruno Ferreira when he won the first fight, that's speaking to me. I got to go with Bruno Ferreira to win this fight over Gregory Rodriguez by TKO in the second round, I'm going to say. This is going to the second round, and you're going to see these guys sluggish. They are going to be overextending and falling over each other, and then Bruno Ferreira's going to find himself uppercutting Gregory Rodriguez as he slumped over, and that's going to be the finish. Bruno Ferreira wins this fight.
Fun finish either way, I think.
I think so. But I got to go with Bruno Ferreira at plus money. That's the pick. We move on. Second fight up the main card: Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. This fight you could have seen 15 years ago on the UFC. You know, these guys, they've been around the block. 28-15, Drew Dober. 24-19, Michael Johnson. Johnson's got the 3.5-inch reach advantage over Drew Dober. He's on a 3-fight winning streak over Darius Flowers, Ottman Azaitar, and Daniel Zellhuber, the bum. Drew Dober, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, beating Kyle Prepolek. He lost 3 fights in a row to Manuel Torres, Gene Silva, and then Renato Moicano. But he beat Ricky Glenn. I went first on the last one, so I go first this one. This is an oddball here. I have been saying Michael Johnson has been done for a while. I've been picking against him. I picked him obviously to beat Darius Flowers as well as Ottman Azaitar, but I had all my marbles on Daniel Zellhuber. Look where that got me. I'm out of marbles. I think Drew Dober could knock out Michael Johnson. It's not this is a very iffy fight. This is to pick one of these guys, man. I want to pick neither of them. But Michael Johnson he's at the better stage in his career. Despite being 39, this dude's he's moving fine out there. He seems to be able to take a shot. He's not really leaving his chin on the plate. I think Drew Dober, he really does have to knock out Michael Johnson to win this fight. I think if Michael Johnson is able to just he's going to win the decision, I think. But if he could get caught, but I think Michael Johnson for sure is going to be outlanding Drew Dober in this fight. Maybe even he'll mix in a takedown or two at some point, but I doubt that. I think Michael Johnson's going to just win this fight based on volume and just being the cleaner striker of the two. So 29-28, maybe 30-27, Michael Johnson decision win.
Yeah. Drew Dober and Kyle Prepolek were split going into that third round, which is kind of crazy. I think you forgot one thing though. Nothing about these two that you forgot to mention during the broadcast. Something about Dober. Just when he gets in there, he sees red.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I got you. He's a big dog, big bear. He's a lion.
Yeah. He does not like black people. I don't know if you know this. Michael Johnson? I know he lives in Florida. Nah. I think Dober can win this. I don't really like either of these guys. Michael Johnson. Sure, he's doing okay, right? But both of these guys have some power. I think some wrestling is going to come into play here. I think they're both going to get hurt. And who is the better wrestling, in your opinion, of these two? Really? Yeah.
I think so. He's got that American style.
I think Drew Dober can come in here, win a weird 29-28 split decision. I think maybe we get. I don't think he's going to be as worried about getting hurt. I know Michael Johnson put out a few guys, but I don't think he's going to put out Drew Dober here. The Crimson Chin will not crack in America, and yeah, I think we could see a weird 29-28 where they both get hurt. Fight of the night, maybe. It's definitely bloody, and yeah, some bets, and the winner's gonna get knocked out by I don't know, the next prospect.
Hmm. Man, you got me wanting to pick Drew Dober now, to be honest. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna stand my ground. Stand your base.
Okay.
We're going with Michael Johnson. We move on. Rob Font versus Raul Rosas Jr. Um, I feel like I've already seen this fight play out. I feel like I've already seen this fight play out a couple times at this point. Rob Font, he just lost his last fight to David Martinez 5 months ago. Martinez was just able to walk him down, and I think Rob Font won the second round of that fight. I think, and David Martinez
I
won the
thought it was
first
the
and third. It was
first.
something like that.
It was closer than it was a UD 29-28, but I thought it was closer than that. But
Yeah,
whatever.
he holds wins over Gene Matsumoto though, and Kyler Phillips. He is 2-3 in his last 5 fights though. Raul Rosas Jr. on a 4-fight winning streak. He lost to C Rod nearly 3 years ago, and he beat Terrence Mitchell. He beat Ricky Tercios, Arichi Lang, Vince Morales. But he is at a 4.5 inch reach disadvantage to Rob Font. You get to go first here.
I'm going Raul Rosas Jr. all the way. He's still 21, just 21 years old. Chihuahuas, huh? Uh,
That's crazy. That's insane,
he,
actually.
yeah. John Matsumoto went 7 for 10 on takedowns. Kyler Phillips went 4 for 5. Uh, Raul Rosas Jr.'s lone loss was in Mexico City, was it not? It was in Miami. Okay, I was thinking there was an elevation thing there, but he kind of gassed out. I'm hoping he made some changes. He was 19 at the time, so I think he can beat Rob Font, take him down, kind of control him over 3 rounds. Kind of like, especially the Corey Sandhagen loss and the Figgy fight for no, the Figgy fight they didn't really wrestle, but for Rob Font, like the Corey Sandhagen loss where he went in there and he got held down for 5 rounds, it was really boring. But I think they picked the perfect guy here. He's gonna get him. He's got to be top 15 still, right, Rob Font?
I think so.
13. I think they're gonna get him out of there, get Raul Rosas Jr. into the top 15 with a good, solid win, and they picked the perfect guy. I don't think I'd pick Raul Rosas Jr. Almost anybody else in the top 15, maybe Montel Jackson. But besides that, nobody else. But Rob Font, yes.
You said decision, right?
Has Font
I'm
been
going
subbed
with Raul
before?
Rosas. He's been subbed once by Pedro Munoz.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Still decision.
Still decision. Listen, I think this is the passing of the torch one for Raul Rosas Jr. This is that legit win that he really needs. The Vince Morales one isn't The Richie Lang one, like But Rob Font, that's an actual that's an established name. This one is gonna look good on the record, and you can go back in all of these fights, the past two at least. He had so many submission attempts against Vince Morales. He had a lot against Richie Lang. He somehow didn't find these subs though. But you give him like a couple. You give him a second chance in some of those positions, he would finish that for sure. And I think he's going to be controlling Rob Font for the large majority of this fight. Raul Rosas Jr. does not play around. He's not going to be on the feet like testing out his kickboxing with Rob Font. He's going to implement his grappling. He's going to be getting to this fight to the mat as quick as possible. And I see him getting like a bunch of submission attempts in. He's gonna find one. I'm thinking. I think he's gonna submit Rob Font in the second round of this fight. We've seen it a lot recently. That you had
Dan Ige.
Melquizael Costa versus Dan
Yeah.
Ige. Dan Ige had never been knocked out before, but against a guy like Melky Costa, man, that dude bangs. He's bringing violence all the way, and I think at some point you got to get finished. It's got to happen. And against a guy like Raul Rosas Jr., we know what he's going for. I think he's gonna find that sub in the second round. So we're going Raul Rosas Jr. submission. That's the pick. We move on to the co-main event. Break out that fighting nerd shirt. Kyle Baralho versus Reiner de Ritter. 17-2 Kyle Baralho, 21-3 Reiner de Ritter. Both off of losses in their last fight. Kyle lost to Nasruddin Imavov. Before that, he beat Jared Cannonier, Paul Craig, Abus Magomedov, Mikhail Olekjekchik. Reiner de Ritter coming off a loss to Brendan Allen. But he beat Robert Whittaker. Very close fight. Very close fight. Some might say Rob Whittaker should have won that fight by TKO without a glove grab, but
Yeah,
that's neither here nor
crafty
there.
vet, crafty vet,
Crafty
crafty
vet,
vet.
yeah. If you ain't fouling, you ain't winning. That's what I like to say. 2 nut shots at least. Reiner de Ritter, he beat Bo Nickel, Kevin Holland, Gerald Mearshart. That was before Robert Whittaker. He has a 3-inch reach advantage over Kyle Baralho. I think I get to go first on this one.
Before you go, let me ask you one question. How many significant strikes do you think were landed between the two of them combined in RDR versus Brendan Allen?
50.
RDR landed 9 significant strikes. Sorry, I just saw that and I had to bring it up. Please.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. But anyways, listen, there's the thought of RDR, and then there's the actual version of RDR you see in the cage. And this dude is like a Looney Tunes character. He's the sloppiest striker you've ever seen. He gasses out. He has no heart, man. This dude gets kept on his back for an entire round by Brendan Allen. I don't see where he beats Kyle Baralho. I don't see him being able to take down Kyle Baralho like that. I think on the feet, Kyle Baralho is the better striker of the two. Reiner de Ritter has a very iffy, wonky style, but I think Kyle Baralho, he's the more elusive striker of the two. He's very fast. He's got good in-out skills. He's bouncing. I think Kyle Baralho's winning this fight. He's gonna piece up Reiner de Ritter on the feet. We're gonna see Reiner gas again. Reiner was claiming he's sick and I'm sick. That's why I'm gassing out in these fights. He gassed out to Gerald Mearshart. He gassed out quite a little bit in that Robert Whittaker fight. Brendan Allen, he had no gas to begin with. He was out of gas in that fight. He came in on empty. I don't know where he wins this fight. Honestly, I don't see him being able to submit Kyle Baralho on the mat. I don't see him being able to rinse and repeat takedowns, and that's what he needs. He needs a whole round of control time to find his submission. I don't think he's winning this fight. I think Kyle Baralho wins this fight by TKO in the second or third round.
Yeah, I think really one of the things that sold it for me the most was the grappling match that Brendan Allen and Kyle had in Karate Combat, where Kyle, 30-27 to Brendan Allen, pretty convincingly. I think RDR needs to be on top. He gets out pretty hard in that Brendan Allen fight, and he didn't look great. He got reversed a number of times. I think he's got weird jujitsu, but I think Kyle Baralho is a fighting nerd. You said it. And he will kind of plan. There's a lot of footage out on RDR. He's fought high level a lot. People know how to beat him. And nothing like the Bo Nickel one was great, but that more showed Bo Nickel's, I don't want to say flaws, but room to grow. We'll say room to grow. Than RDR's grappling chops. So yeah, give me Kyle. Power too. I think he's miles ahead on the feet. He got, I wouldn't say pieced up by Imavov, but he lost on the feet, right? But I think
Yes.
either then in this pure striking match, RDR's grappling, he was getting knocked down, not fully, but almost knocked down by Mearshart, and that's not what you want to see, So give me Kyle. I'm going decision. I think like 30-26. Kyle's not the biggest finisher in the world.
All right. 30-26, 10-8 round. All right.
10-8 round 3.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, big beatdown at the end of the fight. Reiner's.
Gas is out.
Yeah, I see that. I could see that. I could see that for sure. But anyways, we move on to the main event of the evening, UFC BMF Championship Gold or Silver, whatever you want to call this. This is the silver in whatever division it's in.
Consolation prize.
Yeah. Max Holloway versus Charles Do Bronx Oliveira, man. Oh my god. 27-8 Max Holloway, 36-11 Charles Do Bronx. Holloway's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Oliveira's 3-2 in his last 5. Oliveira has the 5-inch reach advantage. 2 years older. I'll let you take the reins on this one. Who do you got?
God, what careers these guys have had, man, since they fought. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's been at least 15 fights, I think, for both of them since they fought in 2015, 11 years ago. Isn't that crazy? It was a main event all the way back then at featherweight. I gotta go Charles here. Come on, Charles Do Bronx. Oh God, am I gonna do the champion has a name? Uh, yeah. Listen, I think. Am I worried about his chin? Yes. Am I worried about him talking about retirement? Yes. But both of these guys are not in their primes anymore, right? They're in their, we'll call it Anderson Silva era, where they're good enough. Their technique and their experience is just good enough to overshadow the deficiencies in their chins and their athleticism. And Charles, I really hope he just doesn't get caught in a boxing match with Max Holloway. He kind of can get what's the word, like transfixed. He showed off great wrestling. Ilya Taporia, Michael Chandler, he took him down 11 times. I want to say I don't have the numbers exactly in front of me. I feel like, I mean, we've seen Max sub once by Dustin a long time ago, but I feel like we could see another submission here. I think if Charles gets you down and he gets on your back, I think a few people in this sport are going to get out of that. I think Max Holloway could be one, but he's not going to do it multiple times. So, it's going to be scary. I'm gonna have a few aneurysms on the way, but yeah, give me Charles Oliveira by 3rd round submission.
Let's just say a prayer. Let's just say a
We'll say
prayer for
many
my man.
prayers.
Let's hope that he gets out unharmed. Charles Do Bronx Oliveira this Saturday is fighting his final fight in the UFC. He's 36-11. He's 36 years old. He's fresh off of his Mateusz Gamrot win, but it's just getting harder and harder to pick this guy every time. I was the biggest Oliveira fan. I love this guy. He's one of my favorites of all time. This is a bad matchup for him, I think. This is a really bad matchup for him, in my opinion. He does have that reach advantage here, and I think that might give Oliveira the sense that he's going to be able to use that reach and keep Holloway behind his jab, and I don't think he's going to be able to box with Holloway. I think Holloway is the faster of the two on the feet at this point. Holloway's still very much there. That Taporia fight, he got caught and put out, but he won rounds against Taporia. He was doing really good in that fight. Oliveira got knocked out in 1 round against Taporia. Put out bad. The worst knockout I've seen in his career. I think Holloway, we did just see him get knocked down against Poirier too, so it's the only time he's really ever been knocked out or knocked down twice in his career ever. It's the first time ever, so this is unprecedented territory for Holloway, but we know what we're getting out of these guys, and I don't think Oliveira is going to be able to get him down. Holloway has a really good takedown defense, and he's a good grappler in his own right. Oliveira has been leaning on his striking recently. Apart from that Gamrot fight, he's been leaning on his striking, and I think this is going to be a boxing match for a bit, and Holloway, this fight's not going to go all 5 rounds. I think Holloway's knocking out Oliveira. It's going to be I hate this. I hate that this is how I think this fight's gonna go. I think Holloway's going to knock him out. It's going to be a sad knockout where Oliveira just gets caught and he's out for a little bit, and it's going to be first or second round. And Holloway's going to be the send off to Charles Oliveira's career.
It's a possibility. I mean, that's how he loses, right?
It
I,
sucks.
I don't.
It sucks.
I don't think they're getting. They've been talking about the point down. We saw Charles practicing it, right? I don't
Yeah,
think we're getting there.
it's not. Yeah, if 5 rounds of these two guys, I don't know, man. Charles, when does Charles fights ever go 5 rounds? You know?
Against Michael Chandler of all people. It's so
Yeah, and
weird.
that fight too. There was back of the headshots for sure, but
Yeah,
Michael Chandler
grabbing the
nearly
glove.
won. The referee didn't call those back of the headshots. He was about to stop the fight. Michael Chandler nearly TKO'd Oliveira in that fight. So
Yeah,
he's had some iffy moments in the past few years where it's just like it's very hard to pick Oliveira against a guy like Holloway, where I don't think Oliveira's going to knock out Holloway. I don't. I can see Holloway putting out Oliveira in the first or second round, though. So that's the pick. And that's the whole card. So I hope this is a good pay-per-view. I think it's nice not having to buy the pay-per-views now with
yeah,
the Paramount. It is nice, but
that's great.
I think this is going to live up to the pay-per-view. I think it's going to be a good event. And before we finish this off, let's go to the next UFC fight night. And I want to know what your favorite fight is. I'm just pulling up the card real quick. I want to know what your
Sure,
favorite fight is on this card before, or not including the main event. You
sure.
got
Emma
UFC.
Vallejos.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
that's automatically going to be it. But UFC Fight Night, Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. What a fight night, man! I can't believe that's the main event. But yeah, what's your favorite fight on this whole card, not including the main event?
Easy. Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders. I mean, come on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I got two. I got two. I want you to go, and I want to see if you can, if you take one of them from me, so that it makes my choice easier. Please.
I mean, you definitely took it from me there. The first one you said, that's a banger fight. Vallejos versus Emmett. I'm surprised that's not the main event, to be honest. But I like just because I've been like in highlighting some of these lower ranked fights here. I like the Hector Sosa fight versus Luan Lacerda, I think his name
Okay.
is. Is that the fight?
Yep. That's it. Luan, he has one of those weird, like Luan Lacerda de Oliveira de whatever, Brazilian. Okay. Well, that wasn't one of mine. I'll go Bruno Silva versus Charles Johnson then. Two vets, two great flyweight strikers. Charles Johnson just knocked out Lonnie Kavanaugh. So, for reference, the other one I was going to pick was Elijah Smith versus Su Young Yu, in case you were wondering. But that's for next
Emmett
week. That's for
Vallejos
next
is
week.
the main event. Okay, the
Yeah, yeah,
Google
yeah.
was messing with me. The Google was messing with me there. Okay,
What did it say?
it was telling me it was Amanda Lemos. It was telling me it was Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson was the main event. That's the co-main. Okay, okay, that makes so much more sense. That makes so much more sense. I'm sorry. That makes so much more sense. Yeah,
Still going
yeah,
with
I'm
that?
still, yeah, I'm still
All
going
right.
with. But Vitor Petrino versus Steven Asplin too. Holy crap, that's a good fight. This is a good card. This is actually a really good card. I'm excited for
Yeah,
this one. There's a lot
it's a
of
great
yeah.
Apex
This is a
card.
good one. But yeah, that is everything we got for you today. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of our picks. If you're going against us on any of these, if you disagree, if you do agree, let me know what you think. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back here for more soon. Thanks for watching.